let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Are you concerned about a growing anti-vaccination disinformation campaign that exists on social media?
Yeah, it's always a concern because vaccines are so key to keeping measles deaths down. Vaccines helped us eradicate polio. Vaccines are so important. They've played the primary role in cutting child to death in half over the last 20 years. That our foundation, the U.S. government have been very involved in that. So explaining how careful we are about vaccine safety is super important. During a pandemic, I can understand people's anxieties levels going up, but explaining what the testing is doing, we will need a lot of people to be willing to take the vaccine to stop the transmission.
You have been the subject of a disinformation campaign. In fact, the posts on social media about you and coronavirus are considered the most widespread coronavirus falsehoods that exist. So I want to address some of them. To be clear, do you want a vaccine so that you can implant microchips into people?
No, there's no connection between any of these vaccines and any tracking type thing at all. I don't know where that came from.
And yet there was a poll by YouGov and Yahoo that shows 44% of Republicans, 19% of Democrats, and 24% of independents think that you want to do that. How did this conspiracy start?
I don't know. Dr. Fauci and I are sort of the two most mentioned, and some of these are deeply ironic. Like, our foundation is about reducing death and, bringing equity to health, and yet the idea that, we get accused of creating, chips or the virus, I think we just need to get the truth out there. We need to explain our values so that people understand why we're involved in this work, and why we're willing to put hundreds or billions to accelerate the progress. It's a little unclear to me, but I hope it'll die down as people get the facts.
I know, but I want to ask you this because you're a co-founder of Microsoft. You travel in the circles of many of these tech leaders who control these companies. I know you know them. There was a Facebook post with that widely debunked conspiracy theory that says that you want to do that. It was shared tens of thousands of times. It's still on Facebook. And I reached out to Sheryl Sandberg today about it. Facebook has told me that they will send it to review about whether to take it down. Does Facebook have a responsibility to do more in terms of shutting down this misinformation?
Yeah, well, they are willing to get rid of anti-vaccination messages that are, false there. So there's a constant dialogue about, okay, how do they make sure that these completely false things don't get out there? You don't want to suppress, normal dialogue about safety studies, but the conspiracy theories, they, are starting to step up on, and we feel like we have a good dialogue with them about how to do that.